Let me end by discussing the biggest long-term threat the world faces: climate change. After sitting on the sidelines for 4 years, the United States is committed to doing its part. We have a narrow moment to pursue action at home and abroad to avoid the most catastrophic impacts of that crisis and to seize the opportunity that tackling climate change presents. President Biden has released a plan to combat climate change, including through rejoining the Paris Agreement, investing in sustainable infrastructure, and creating new green jobs. He's committed to release an ambitious strategy this year to outline U.S. domestic greenhouse gas targets that are consistent with our work internationally. Domestic action must go hand in hand with U.S. international leadership aimed at significantly enhancing global action. To this end, Treasury is working closely with our international partners and international organizations to implement ambitious emissions reduction measures, protect critical ecosystems, build resilience against the impacts of climate change, and promote the flow of capital toward climate-aligned investments and away from carbon-intensive investments. We're also working to ensure that climate risk is integrated into the financial system so that financial institutions, regulators, and investors can make informed decisions. I'm pleased that Treasury is co-chairing a newly launched G20 Sustainable Finance Working Group, where finance ministries and central banks will work together to identify mechanisms for promoting green investments and accelerating transition to a net zero economy. As I prepare to meet with my colleagues from around the world this week at the IMF and World Bank spring meetings, I find myself thinking back to the policymakers who gathered in Bretton Woods a year before I was born to define our post-war order. Though it was a different time, I empathize with the enormous weight they faced. The pressure to come together after a global catastrophe in building an enduring and interconnected system aimed at promoting peace and prosperity throughout the world. Our current juncture is no less significant. What we do in the coming months and years will have profound impacts on the trajectory of our country and on the global economic order. Of course, there are key differences from the post-war era. Maybe most noticeably, I will be joined later this week by other female finance ministers, central bank governors, and heads of international financial institutions. Not enough, but a start, as well as diverse representatives from all corners of the globe. In our interconnected and digital world, and considering the pandemic, I will be logging onto a computer to join these meetings, not trekking to a mountain resort in New Hampshire. Yet the most important difference today is a fundamental recognition that our policies at home and abroad must be designed to be inclusive, tackle inequality, and respect our environment. In this context, I will use the spring meetings this week to advance discussions on climate change, press our partners to do their part to support a strong global economic recovery, strengthen tools to improve vaccine access and financing for the world's poorest economies, and increase the focus on inequality, including for vulnerable populations and women and girls. I'm honored to serve the American people once again, to listen to the underrepresented, to be bold in action, and to cooperate with our global partners to solve the challenges we face together in building the next century of prosperity. Thank you.